So team, welcome to the first session for our mobile app testing. What we're going to do in this session is I'm going to talk about what the project is all about, and I will expect you to start working on it. At this point, I'm assuming most of you are the participants who are already divided into teams. We will talk a little bit about that, but primarily the whole agenda is around these particular topics. I'm going to introduce you to the application under testing and what the scope is overall for the mobile app testing that we'll perform. What kind of a devices that you're supposed to have access to so that you can start testing. The environment that you would set up overall, how you would go about executing the overall testing activities. What timelines would we look at? The overall approach towards the test plan and for specifically for the mobile application testing, and how you will approach to building your test cases and so on. That's the starting point. Now at this point, team, I'm assuming most of you have already been given access to the teams. So if any of you have not been given access, I will come to that also in a second. If you have noticed that we already have a Mat Live project where all of you who will be participating in it are members. If any of you who is joining this session for the first time and is not a member of this team, you will need to do that first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a document that will help us guide you through the next steps. So I'm going to call this as day one, and the specific points that I spoke about, I'm going to put it up here. So it's easy for you to kind of recognize them. Sorry. All right. So here are the different topics that we were talking about. We will talk about it. We will talk about ITE Learn Teams for mobile app testing. This is the first one I'll talk about. So team, any of you who's not part of a team currently, who's attending this session, if you're watching the video, it's the same question to you. All right. So if you're not part of a team, I will talk about what's going to happen next to you. Okay. The first thing is you need to be part of a team. All right. Project execution is a team effort, and you will need to work with a specific team. All right. If you are a premium member, this is the other thing, most of you get confused with it, then please send an email to learn@itelearn.com and manoj@itelearn.com so that to get added into a team. Sorry about my throat, team. Very bad cough that I'm going through right now. Let me just check one quick thing. Manoj, you are available on the session, correct?
Hi, Karthik.
Hey, Manoj. Do you know if Vishal joined in as well?
Let me check, Karthik.
All right, no problem. Thanks. So, if you're a premium member, then please send an email. Okay. Please reach email to get added into a team. So this is primarily for you to get added into a team. So what happens with the team? How does the project execute? All of this I've mentioned earlier. You can look at the orientation videos, and you can also go through this specific document. This document talks about what are the prerequisites for the project, what kind of questions we all have, what you need to be learning before you get into the project, the best way for you to be able to master mobile app testing, how you can learn with the team, what's the learning schedule. All of this is mentioned here. All right. And then also the details of what we're going to cover as part of the live project, how it's going to work, what you're going to do, and so on. So I'm not going to go through all of them because this has been dealt with at extent. Right. So we're going to get straight away into talking about the application under test and the current scope. So the application under test team is itelearn.com. Now, this is the application that is a live is a real life project. What do I mean by real life project? This application really requires the testing to be done both from a functionality automation, from a general software testing, application testing perspective, and also from a mobile app testing. Now, there is no uh, native mobile app for IT eLearn in the current phase of testing. So we don't have really a mobile app to be able to test it. However, we're going to do a browser slash web based slash hybrid mobile app testing. So what you'll really be doing is the entire thing in terms of going through the entire application from a mobile application. For example, as simple as if I open up itelearn.com, sorry, and let me see if I can get it as to individual window. And as I scale it down in the display of the browser into something, give me a second, please. Not sure why it took so long for the page to load, but primarily probably traffic was very high on the site. So as I scale it down into a more mobile friendly display, you will see how entire website is going to change. So you're going to see a similar display when you go through your iPhone or your Android device or an iPad to browse through this application. All right. So how are each and everything going to be displayed? How is the menu going to be displayed? How you can look at navigating through the entire page, how the content is overall, how do the videos play, do they play on this, the membership portal and so on. So all of that you'll have to be working to test it. So you will be working on the web base. So you'll actually take the device, be it emulator, simulator, all the possible options. You'll be opening it up on different browsers that are there available on your mobile device and start to test. Now, that is the application under test, and the current scope is primarily you'll be talking about functional UI. All right, we'll be talking about building a regression test suite. Okay, performance basic level. All right, and you'll be performing overall automation testing a little bit wherever we can. You'll try and automate it for the mobile perspective. Now this is what you're going to be doing as part of the current scope. As part of your execution team, we expect you to have access to at least two of the following devices. Okay, one is an iOS, Android. You can, if you get a BlackBerry, that's fine. You can also test it on the BlackBerry, and I'll put this as optional. And Windows, also I'll put it as optional. The reason I'll say optional is the number of users who use or who visit IT Learn from the following devices is not as much as you would see from an iOS or an Android device. That's one. You will be looking at smartphones, all right, tablets, and these are the primary two things. So for example, if you have an iOS, then you can look at probably something like an iPhone 4, no problem. If you have an iPhone 4, that's fine as well. iPhone 5, and I'll say iPhone 5X, iPhone 6X. When I say 6X, that means that you have access to any of that series, iPhone 4 series or 5 series or 6 series, right? And similarly, you can have access to a Samsung, for example. Doesn't matter. And I can't really specify, at least because there are different devices and different screen sizes that come through it. and you can talk about some of this for Android, right? You could also have iPad, all right? You can have iPad 2, you could have iPad Air, you could have iPad. Uh, is there a later one? I don't know if there's something else that's coming. All right. So you need to have access to any of these mobile devices in 2 weeks access. So find a way to get yourself and your hands onto these devices, because it is very critical for you to have access to devices to be able to test and to be able to execute the project, to be able to participate in it. All right. So far, so good, everyone. Any questions before I move forward? And team, as always, you're all muted. There's no question about it because we have a large audience always, right? So if you have questions, please use the question and answer section to put your question. We have the entire technical team to kind of guide you and help you through it. All right. And please don't raise your hands right now because we are not looking at individuals who are raising their hands. We will come back to questions as we go along towards the end. Most of the questions may get addressed. If there are questions that are not addressed, we will look at it and then you can speak up. We'll unmute you at the time. All right. So, team, as I said, I have already answered what is happening if you're not part of a team. All right. So, this is mentioned here. So, you have to go through that specific thing. So, test environment, as I said, team, you need to be working from your home PC slash laptop. There's a lot of work that you'll still do from a PC laptop, and you can use Windows or Mac OS. Doesn't matter. All right, and you'll have your mobile devices, smartphones, right, and tablets. So Samsung smartphones and tablets or any other popular devices. Cool. So that's your test environment, team. So you're going to be using your home laptop PC. You're going to be working remotely. You're going to be working with your team. So what's the timelines for test execution? Overall timeline we're looking at is 2 weeks for overall project execution. So we're talking about 14th October to 31st October. All right. Now, this means that you are at least putting in between 3 to 6 hours of effort per weekday. So in a weekday, we're talking about 5. So we're talking about 15 to 30 hours of effort per week from each of you. Each of you. Okay. So you have to coordinate with your team on the timings, right? Schedule and amount of involvement. For example, some of you are working already full time and you have very little time for the project, so you'll opt that, you know what, I will still be part of it, but I'll try and spend about 15 hours. Some of you are fully into it, so you'll spend more time. That is the kind of thing that I want you to work on. Now, how about test plan documentation? The input to this project will come from the recent um, QA Live project executed by various IT learn teams. So, for example, over the last 2 to 3 weeks, many of our IT learn team members, they were working on a QA Live project. So, if I go there quickly, is this the one, Manoj, that everyone is working on?
Yes, Karthik.
Why only 2 teams are here? Other teams are in most, is it? So there's Team Star,
Yeah, Karthik. Other teams are in most.
in this Team Ninja. So they have developed, for example, an FRD document, a test plan. All of this is here. So this is one team which has developed the entire functional requirements document for the application under test. The same application, itelearn.com, how it works, different modules, all of this has been very neatly and with a lot of effort the team has built. You're going to take the same documentation as an input to be able to develop the entire strategy for mobile app testing. Now, there are two teams who have done activities here, and then there are many other teams which have done activities in here. Most is the master of software testing schedule that we have. That's a larger program that we conduct every twice a year and so on. And there you will see a lot of information. For example, I've gone to Team Decodus, and if I look at QA Live project in here, why only requirements is there? Where is the other thing for this Team Decoders? Anyone from Team Decoders, can you help me? Where is your documentation? In the same file, we have all docs. Which file do you have all docs? Or requirement? So this is the test summary report. I'm downloaded the file so that way it's easy for me to access it offline there. Where is your FRD? Where is your test plan? All of that, because this does not, I don't think this has the FRD and all that, right? So this is a great test summary report. Absolutely no question about it. You're talking task allocation within your team, the test effort estimation overall, the generic requirement, test scenarios, test data, test cases, requirement traceability. So for each module, all the test cases and so on that you have, right? Lot of content has been developed, and this is brilliant stuff. But I don't see a test plan overall. I mean, the content is there, but I don't see a test plan. That's all that I wanted to say about it. See, for example, here, test summary report is there as a PDF document, right? So all the complete execution of the testing is summarized into one document in here. And then we have a functional requirement document. We have a test plan document, right? So, for example, Team Nexus has put all of this in different documents. And apart from this, they also have, I'm sure, the other related thing like effort estimation. We have the test cases. This is the test cases document along with the execution report of it. All right, so all this documentation is there. Now it's about consolidating them and then using them for your live project. What I want you to be absolutely sure, team, is the input to this project will come from the recent, okay? And I'll write it in block letters here. Do not recreate content from scratch for this project, right? Reuse the content from our QA live project as much as possible. So please make sure that you focus on reusing and recreating what is already there rather than recreating everything from the scratch, including the test planning, including the test cases, and so on. And in fact, the same thing with test cases. One, you need to make a list of all uh, generic all test cases for the web based app. Two is identify the mobile app related test cases. What is specifically important for a mobile app? All right. What is it that you need to be testing? Then talk about customizing those specific test cases that are uh, needed for our mobile app testing live project. It's a MAT LP is mobile app testing live project. What you'll need to be very careful, team, is as part of the customization is talk about device, okay, browser, okay, and then various configurations. And if you've gone through the video lectures of mobile app testing, you would have gone through all of this in terms of what is there, what kind of testing you need to do, how you need to approach it, and everything out there. All right. Also, you need to identify the um, percentage, rather, identify the specific test cases you would like to automate. All right. This is what I'm saying. That's it, Tim. There's nothing more for me to talk about. It is all from your side going forward. This is all that is there. You will all have access to this specific folder called, is this Matt Live project? Then we have Matt Live project 015 videos. These are the videos I believe we will be uploading. And this is only for us to upload it onto the website, right? This is not accessible for everyone, right, Manoj? But the same videos from this session will be accessible from the website, correct? Okay, so Manoj, is this the one? Manoj, I suddenly see more folders here, so I'm assuming that they've been moved from there to here, right? Okay, so I believe we have the teams here, and you will see the contact sheet. And here's the contact sheet of all the members will be part of these teams. So the teams have already been divided. We have one team Tizen, Windows 2, Firefox 3, iOS 4, Android 5, Nexus 6, Venus 7, Decoders 8. So we have 8 teams in total. Do we need 8 teams? I'm not sure. Let's see if we can minimize it into smaller teams if possible, into bigger teams, but smaller number of teams. Because and again, team, your name of the team has got nothing to do with the environment you'll work. You'll all work in all the environments, but at the end of the day, you have a name given to the team. That's all. Manoj, just in case you were trying to talk, I could not hear anything. Oh, Manoj went offline. I believe his internet, he lost power at his end, I guess. But at least I have the team. So, team, what are the questions that you have for me now? Let's talk about it. Sorry about my voice, team. What happens sometimes is this only happens with Mac, and I don't know why. it doesn't happen with my Windows or anything, is that when I'm doing my GoToMeeting and I'm trying to load any web page, at that time my voice breaks down. When there's no web page being loaded, then there's no problem with the voice. That's the thing. All right, team. So let me take questions. I'm not clear with concept of customizing specific text cases for Mac. So, for example, if you go into, let's talk about some of the test cases here, right? So let's go to, let's say, free event, for example, here. All right. So let's talk about something like here. Verify that drop-down menu disappears when cursor is moved away from free events tab on IT Learn homepage, right? So in a similar manner, you may see that is the other page. So that test case may not be applicable in this case, right? The menu won't show up on mouse over because there's no mouse over thing concept on a mobile device. But when you click on it, the menu appears. And when you click back on any of the sub menu items, then you'll see all the other items coming up. So, how is this appearing? So, that same test case here will need to be rewritten for a mobile version. When you're doing it on a mobile device, how is it supposed to be behaving? For example, we talk about a member. All right. So for a member, let's say we talked about some concept like um, verify the members tab on the menu bar or verify IT learn logo. All of these things have behaved specifically different when you are doing it from a mobile device. So how does that work? How do users work in that fashion? So here, for example, I'm already logged in. So if I go and open it, the same thing on a Chrome browser. This is the regular version. Now if I resize it to get it into a mobile version, then we have the members login. So how is the members login supposed to be working in a mobile browser or a mobile application? What is happening here? What kind of information is there? What happens post login, or when a user tries and logs in without the right username and password, what happens at that time? All of these things will behave differently from a look perspective, UI perspective, or sometimes even functionality. And hence you'll have to modify these test cases to make it more mobile friendly. First, you have to talk about the relevant test cases. Is this relevant or not? Do I need to check for the logo or not? uh, Verify this is a member page only kind of information or not. All of these things you can customize it specifically for your mobile application, and that is the one I'm talking about here. All right. So that's about the customizing of the test cases. Let's see. Can we have 3 more days to complete video based learning? Sarva, I'm fine with it. You have to work it out with your team and then design your schedule. The only challenge is your number of days that is there for executing the project will come down. I'm absolutely okay, team. At the end, if you need another 3 or 5 days, or at the maximum 1 more week to extend the project, I will be more than glad to do it as long as we go in the right direction. So that's not a problem. Do we have access to this share path most members so that we can update into our folder? I don't think you have access to the most folder because that's specifically for the master software testing batch members, but you will get the same content relevant to your project in here. And I believe Manoj and team have, and Vishal have already copied it there. Are we going to consolidate the test cases from different modules that we worked in QLI project? That's correct, Swapna. All right. What else? All are Excel sheets in the same file. So I'm just seeing the questions. If I have iPad and an around iPhone, I good? Ravneet, and Android phone. Am I good? Absolutely fine. If you have an Android phone and if you have an iPad, that's absolutely fine. That's more than enough for you to start testing. But trust me, team, you have to have hands on the devices. Using your emulators, simulators, remote device testing, automation of your mobile testing, all that is fine, but real device testing is very important. And I'm going to see that you're not only going to be working from home, but you'll be carrying your devices out into uh, a park or a low network zone or a different kind of circumstances. You'll be doing a lot of field testing as well. All right. And some people may be doing AT&T, or you'll be doing T-Mobile or Verizon. So different kind of careers also, you have to be testing on. Is it going to be m.itlearn.com? No, you can visit itlearn.com itself on your mobile devices. Depending on this, these are responsive themes. These days, all the websites you will see will be responsive themes. So the same website you'll go to, but when you go to from a mobile device, the screen size is different, and accordingly, the screen will get adjusted. The teams are already available, and as I showed you, they're all listed here. All right, so each of you are part of this existing team. There are already about 60 plus members into different teams, so you may already be part of it. If you're not part of a specific team, then as I said, the first point, send an email, you'll get added there. All right. I cannot see any of these documents when I go to Google Drive. Olivia, same thing. You have to reach out. You have to say what it is. And um, when you get an invite, you have to make sure that you add that folder to the drive and you open it from there. Anjali, if I have to explain you the difference between emulator and simulator, then that means that you're not even ready for the project. All right. So please make sure that you go through the tutorials elaborately to be able to participate in the project. This is not a training. I am not here to train you on this project. I'm already doing the training as part of the videos. This project is for you to work. So you have to work very hard to pick up the required knowledge to be able to execute it. All right. So any questions that you have, you're either referring to the videos that I've already shown you to, or to the tech support team. Nimi, your question. I have been put into iOS team, but didn't get any response from most members for learning groups. So will they be there for the project? In case no, I will be put in different projects. So iOS team, why have you not responded to Nimi? Are you not part of this team? Are you already not working, going to be working on it? If you are, then please make sure that you're going to be working on it. All right. And make sure that you inform Nimi about it. It is very important to coordinate. If anything that way is happening, we're going to club one or two teams together, and we're going to make sure that you all work together that way. Right? What is hybrid mobile testing? Again, the same thing. Rasagna, you have to know what it is. All right. For example, hybrid mobile testing is it's the same application. It behaves differently when you open it in a different web-based browser and from a mobile browser. That's how it is. Okay. Hybrid test application is no longer a native application which you download from a iTunes or from a Play Store and install it. It is automatically you access it through your mobile browser. All right, team. That's about it from my side. Then I wish you all the best. Start your work with your team. Get your coordination going. All the videos, all the access, everything is available for you. And this is the most important platform for you to gain that required knowledge, to gain that required confidence, exposure, and get your hands dirty and get your experience up. And I'm sure with this kind of an experience, you will be ready for various different projects coming your way in the future. All right. If there are further questions, feel free to involve both Manoj and Vishal into it, and we will be glad to assist you with it. All right. Uh, I think that's about it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a great day. All the best. Thank you so much.